It's time for the best and largest U.S. aircraft carrier in the world. Named for World War II Pacific Fleet Commander Chester W. Nimitz, CVN-68 is the lead ship of the Nimitz class and was one of the world's largest vessels when she was launched in May 1972. Commissioned in May 1975, USS Nimitz was only the second nuclear-powered carrier built after USS Enterprise, CVN-65. With the inactivation and decommissioning of Enterprise in 2017, Nimitz is now the oldest U.S. Navy aircraft carrier in service, as well as the oldest serving carrier in the world. Nicknamed Old Salt or Uncle Chester, the Navy plans to keep the carrier in service until the Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier USS John F. Kennedy, CVN-79, enters service. At 1,092 feet long, the carrier is one of the largest ships not only in the U.S. Navy but in the world. She displaces approximately 97,000 tons and has a ship's company equal to a small town with approximately 5,000 sailors and Marines, including the Air Wing. Powered by two Westinghouse A4W nuclear reactors, which drive 4 steam turbines and 4 shafts, the ship produces more than 194 megawatts, which allow it reach speeds in excess of 30 knots. As a floating military airport, the Nimitz is capable of launching as many as 4 aircraft per minute. The ship has 4 catapults as well as 4 arresting gear engines, which enable her to launch and recover aircraft rapidly and simultaneously. The ships carry 7 different types of aircraft with a total complement of more than 80 planes. In addition to its air wing, the Nimitz has self-defense measures that include missiles, guns, and electronic warfare measures. Her Sea Sparrow missile system is comprised of 2 launchers with 8 missiles each. Each Sea Sparrow is a radar-guided, short to medium-range missile capable of engaging aircraft and cruise missiles. In addition, the carrier also has close-in weapon system mounts for short-range defense against aircraft or missiles, and each mount has its own search and track radar and a 6-barrel, 20mm Gatling gun capable of firing 3,000 rounds per minute. During its nearly 50 years in service, Nimitz has been at the forefront of the U.S. Navy's missions around the globe. The carrier was first deployed to the Mediterranean just a year after entering service and in 1979 was sent to the Indian Ocean in response to the Iran hostage crisis. While there, it took part in Operation Evening Light, part of the larger Operation Eagle Claw, the failed effort by U.S. Army Special Forces to mount a rescue mission to free the U.S. hostages held in Tehran, Iran. It was in 1981 that it launched a pair of F-14A Tomcats jet fighters to take part in a combat operation when the American aircraft engaged and destroyed 2 Libyan Su-22s during a freedom of navigation exercise in the Gulf of Sidra. Throughout most of her service, Nimitz has been deployed to the Middle East, including during Operation Earnest Will in 1987 and 1988, where the U.S. Navy protected Kuwaiti oil tankers from Iranian attacks, and it was one of the largest naval convoy operations since the Second World War. The warship flew strike and reconnaissance missions during Operation Desert Storm, and in 2003 was deployed to the Persian Gulf in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. In 2017, the carrier conducted airstrikes on ISIS targets in Iraq during Operation Inherent Resolve, during which its air wing flew 1,322 sorties over the course of 3 months. The carrier had also been deployed to address Chinese aggression during the Third Taiwan Strait crisis in 1996. Last December, it was announced that Nimitz would be decommissioned and enter the ship submarine recycling program by 2025. That will involve 3 phases: inactivation, reactor compartment disposal, and recycling. It could take at least 15 years, and perhaps longer, and that will be the end of a carrier that has served with distinction and helped maintain freedom of navigation, FON, around the globe. The U.S. Navy's high-tech and groundbreaking new USS Ford-class aircraft carrier will go to sea later this year, a development that marks a historic and pivotal step in the evolution of maritime warfare. In development for many years, the USS Gerald R. Ford is the first in class of a new generation of carriers intended to propel U.S. naval dominance into the 21st century. As the Nimitz class approached the end of its life in the late 1990s, the Navy decided to invest in a new aircraft carrier. We needed a new design, and the Ford class was designed to take advantage of improved technologies, networking improvements, and smart weapons. The Ford has 3 times the electrical generating capability, and its flight deck is optimized with aviation support systems designed for safer and more efficient execution for flight operations, Captain Brian Metcalf, program manager for Ford-class carriers, told an audience at the 2022 Sea Airspace Symposium. Metcalf is likely referring to the larger deck space built into the Ford class as opposed to the Nimitz-class carriers, which allow for a 33% increase in sortie rate. This generates a massive enhancement in operational tempo should a carrier-launched air attack campaign need to expand in scope, size, and range. The capability to launch more aircraft in rapid succession projects more firepower and dwell time over a target area. Further, should new targets emerge or commanders receive new time-sensitive intelligence data, attacking fighter jets will be better positioned to respond. By referring to aviation support systems designed for safer and more efficient flight operations, Metcalf may have been pointing to flight safety and efficiency advantages generated by the Ford-class weapons elevators and electromagnetic launch system, EMALS. Using electromagnetic and not steam or hydraulic propulsion technology, the EMALS enables a smoother, tailorable takeoff which creates much less wear and tear on deck-launched fighter jets. The use of electrical systems replaces some of the manpower-intensive steam and hydraulic systems, Metcalf explained. The Ford's weapons elevators create a dynamic wherein fighter jets can be refueled and rearmed much faster and more efficiently, making them able to quickly return to air attack missions. All 11 of the weapons elevators have been turned over to the crew. The crews operating those elevators are gaining proficiency for the deployment, Metcalf said. The Ford class is also able to reduce manpower by virtue of its use of unprecedented levels of computer automation, systems which enable self-maintenance, equipment monitoring, and other key procedural tasks. This allows for the Ford class to operate with 900 fewer sailors on board, increasing operational efficiency. Perhaps of equal or even greater significance, recent shock testing revealed that the USS Ford can operate as a survivable ship despite all of the advances in technology built into the platform. Many bombs of different shapes and sizes were exploded near the Ford during shock trials to assess the platform's ability to sustain operational functionality while under attack. The USS Ford's performance was exemplary, according to Navy leaders and industry participants, who were very confident in the new carrier's ability to operate at war.